players of the ECHL just ended their strike. We've got all you need to know about the collective bargaining agreement that was just put together. You make that soldier boy. Make that soldier boy.
It has to happen.
Always. You got to bless the rains down in Africa. Shout out Toto. Anywho.
He's not in Kansas anymore.
No, he's somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Weekend Whistle. I'm Chris. That's small.
Hey.
Buddy, we had a show for you guys last week, but
sure did. It was a good one too.
It was, but you know what sucked is the audio was.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's on me. That's my bad as the guy who's recording. But we're gonna fix that. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I know we are a couple days away from New Year's, getting ready to wrap up 2025. Just crazy. Yeah. Well, like, let's just move past 2025. We're gonna try it again next year. We're gonna start over, try it again.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little bit of news before we get into obviously the big topic today, which is the ECHL CBA that was signed with the PHPA. All of that. But first, big shout out to Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman JJ Mosier, as he just inked an 8-year, $54 million deal to stick around in Tampa Bay for a little bit. Oh, for sure. It's going to average out to an AAV of about $6.75 million. The 25-year-old has 12 points in 35 games this season, but bro, he has a plus-minus rating of plus 25.
Right. That's wild.
How crazy that number is, bro. How to know your offense is doing the right thing when he's on the ice? Holy
absolutely.
Shit.
Well, and the crazy thing is, like, if Tampa Bay Lightning didn't, because they signed him to a 1-year contract, which had expired or was getting ready to expire in the summer coming up, and there were other teams that were looking at picking him up.
Yeah.
It's very clear that the rest of the NHL, there were people that wanted this man on their team, and Tampa Bay is like, you know what, we probably shouldn't let that happen. Let's make it happen, and they did.
Yeah,
and you know,
and especially with him being an RFA this year, coming up this summer, it's going to make life so much easier. You don't have to worry about offer sheets. You don't have to worry about giving up draft picks. After their 4-2 win against Florida on Saturday, JJ was asked about the contract signing. He said it's mutual. You're having a good season. You're trying to get your future sorted out. I guess the club is as well wants to have some security and knows what's going on in the future. So I think it was kind of mutual. The deal got together fairly quick, and I think it was a good situation. The timing was also good for both sides. So big ups to JJ Mosier for getting inked. What is the one thing we love around here? We love players getting paid, brother.
Well, and I mean, can you blame him? Would you want to leave Florida?
No, you don't got to pay taxes on pretty much anything right now.
Right. And he went from Utah to Florida. I mean, having to deal with snow to having to show up to practice in sandals every day. Like, ooh, twist my finger.
Having to deal with the Mormons versus having to deal with Gators.
I feel like I'd go either way on that one.
Probably. I don't know. The Mormons might be fun. I don't know. I don't know any Mormons. But maybe they watch this show. So I guess let us know in the comments if you're a Mormon and you like hockey.
Yeah.
We do want to switch gears really quick to a serious topic for a moment. We here at Pucked Up and the Weekend Whistle want to give our love to Team USA defenseman Cole Hudson, who, if you guys didn't see, was stretchered off the ice a few days ago after taking a shot to the back of the neck. It hit right underneath of his helmet, as you guys can see here. Immediately dropped to the ice. He was stretchered off the ice. He has been discharged from the local St. Paul area hospital, was rejoined his teammates at the arena. It is unclear if he's going to play. Right now, he's obviously day to day, but it was a very scary situation.
Yeah.
So
it absolutely was. And I mean, this kid's got a fantastic career ahead of him. I mean, he plays for BU right now, and after leading the first-year players with 46 points and 32 assists last season, he was also a member of the U.S. team that won the World's Junior Gold in the 2005 tournament in Ottawa, becoming the first defenseman to lead the tournament with 11 points. He makes shit happen.
Well, not only that, if that last name sounds familiar to you hockey fans, because his big brother just won the Calder last year. That's right. He is the younger brother of Montreal Canadiens defenseman Lane Hutson, who I imagine was in his brother's position last year. I believe Lane played in the World Juniors, or was almost able to play in the World Juniors.
Well, and we want to point out
either
that
last year or the year before.
He was also selected by the Washington Capitals in the 2024 NHL draft.
Yeah.
He was 43rd. So he's already got a good team that he's going to when the time is right.
Yeah. So sending our love to you, Cole. We're glad you're all right, buddy, and can't wait to see you back on the ice. Obviously, there is more to talk about from the World Juniors, but that will be on Wednesday when you hear me give the breakdown of the World Juniors like I do every year. And as well as Hockey Canada needs to sort their shit out, is all I'm going to say. But to the part of the show that you guys probably want to hear about, the ECHL and the Professional Hockey Players Association have reached a tentative approval on a new collective bargaining agreement to end what was a 2-day strike. Yep. The league and the union on Saturday night announced the deal that still needs to be ratified by the Board of Governors and the full player membership. A total of 28 games had been postponed Friday and Saturday since the PHPA went on strike. The sides released no details about the CBA that they believe will bring The side released no details about the CBA that they believed will bring players back to work. They had been engaged in talks since January. Mind you, the CBA expired in June. So this was off-season stuff that still didn't even carry over. It is not immediately clear when play would resume in the 30-team North American Minor League Hockey Team, or Hockey League, which is essentially hockey's AA. Now, you and I had briefly talked about this before and right after it happened.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so
it's a big deal.
Right. And the update was on December 25th. So on Christmas, the ECHL made its last, best, and final offer to the PHPA. The ECHL made it clear to union leaders that this was the best offer and that any future offers would likely need to account for losses in revenue attributable to missing games from the player strikes. I know my local team had to already cancel 2 games. They had a doubleheader this weekend, and both games had to be canceled and rescheduled due to the strike. And I believe there were 12 teams total that had to reschedule out of the 30. Out of the 29 teams, I believe 12 had to reschedule games due to the strike. My local team being one of them.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. Now, so this is straight from the ECHL website. They said, while we did not receive a formal response, we have heard from certain players that they will not be reporting for their scheduled games. We strongly encourage union leadership to submit our offer to a vote of its membership, but we do not believe that will happen. Again, this is from the ECHL's direct website. Now, what are the last, best, and final offers? Well, here's an overview of it. So the first one is an immediate 19.8% increase to the salary cap for the season to be paid retroactively from the start of the season, which would be paid upon ratification of the agreed contract. Additional salary cap increases for future years, which would increase total player salaries nearly 27% from the current cap. In addition to increase in player salaries, the ECHL will continue to cover 100% of player cost for fully furnished housing, utilities and internet, and medical and dental benefits. Now, the medical and dental benefits are only covered by the ECHL while the season is going on. This is part of the negotiated contract, was to get it to be full-time year-round coverage for medical and dental.
Right.
I think that that is important. Essentially, what would happen is when the season would end, the players would have to pay for a version of Cobra or whatever they could get within the union. So, a requirement for mandatory days off, also addressing travel between back-to-back games. So, Chris and I talked about this, and what this means is it's not back-to-back if they're playing a doubleheader in the same town against the same team. It means if they have to go to a team or go travel to a venue, play the team, leave immediately to go to another venue to play a different team.
Right.
That is where you have the issue, because now players are traveling. They may not be, they may be traveling by themselves if the league doesn't have the accommodations for them. Now they're driving, and it's just going to lead to dangerous situations where tired players are now stepping onto the ice.
Right.
It would also modify the holiday and mid-season break schedule to add more days for players to be with their family during the holidays, and also give them a little bit more of a break when they do the mid-season break.
The NHL gives pretty much a week.
Yeah, ECHL, I think it's 2 or 3 days. It's not. I don't.
Which
think it's,
is crazy.
I don't think it's a big break. They also want to enable every team to provide custom sticks and enable all players to choose an alternate 5-star rated helmet for the Virginia Tech helmet study. This is important. This study helps go to increase player safety in the future. This is very important as the sport gets more competitive, the skaters get faster, the slap shots get harder, the hits get harder. We need to have equipment that can stand up to the new level of players that are coming through. Strength and conditioning is getting crazier. People are taking more supplements and vitamins and all of this crap to make them better performing athletes. And that leads to crazier stuff happening. And we see it all the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is important that they do this. It also increases the per diem, which is a reimbursement for meals while traveling, to $60 this year, as well as a future increase that'll raise the per diem by 24.5% from the current rate. I used to travel for work, and my per diem was $80 a day, and that was almost enough to cover breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I used to cheat, and what I would do is I would go, like my first day, I'd blow my whole $80 and grocery shop at Walmart to stock my fucking hotel.
Yeah, that's a smart way to do it.
And then I would use that to kind of like, I'd buy like Hot Pockets and like cheap shit so then I could have enough money to go through. So, I mean, the cost of living, the cost of everything is going up. $60 a day, that's not a lot of money.
No.
You know, especially when you look at these, they go out to team dinners and that per diem probably isn't covered by the team. That's probably covered by their per diem because the team doesn't want to fork out any more than they have to.
Right.
I will give a huge shout out to the ECHL. Whether you're on their side for this or you're not on their side for this, I could not find the PHPA equivalent to what we're going to briefly talk about. But the ECHL posted a chart about myths and misinformation that was communicated by the PHPA or by third parties that circulated that made them look like the bad guy in this. Now, again, whether you agree with them or don't, I think that this is a really cool way to be like, hey, this is what's being said. This is what the reality of it is. And I could not find this on the PHPA's website. I can only find it on the ECHL official website. Do you want to talk about something, Chris?
I think it's good that even regardless, it all turns into a he said, she said, correct?
No, absolutely. And I think that this is a great way for them to be like, hey, this is what we've heard or what we've seen.
This is our
side.
This
is what we do.
Yeah.
I think that is a very great way to get rid of all myths and rumors and he said, she said when it comes to controversial things like this.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of points here that that kind of upset me in some ways because it's like you think about, was it a few years ago we had the same issue with the MLB and minor league baseball having crazy conditions The pay was unrealistic. You like, regardless of where these guys are rated, they are still professional athletes. This is, you're asking them to go play these games, for kind of little bits of money here. And that is, while, appropriate equipment, for first off, should never be a fucking question, ever. That should always be a guarantee.
Right.
There is never a world where where players not having appropriate attire and appropriate equipment is okay. I like that the league pays for housing and all of that for these players, so they can only have to focus on this. While I like that they pay for this stuff, I also feel like it is important. These are young men, young athletes. They should learn how to be financially responsible and learn how to deal with all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So if there's a way that they could be like, hey, here, we'll fund it for you. You just make sure you're in charge of this. I think it's a better way to do it, instead of being like, oh, I've never actually seen the bills. It's like, no. You should see that.
I wonder, though, if they do stop paying for it, or if they give them an option like, hey, we'll give you team paid for housing, or you can have your own.
Yeah. Another big thing.
If you move up to a multi-million-dollar mansion, like, they ain't gonna pay for that.
No. Another big thing. The travel issue. The fact that, as still a tier of the NHL ladder, granted it operates on its own, but it's still a tier on the way up the US Hockey Pro ladder.
Yep.
Why the fuck are the players having to worry about travel on their own?
Oh, your camera's okay, you're good. No, absolutely. Well, and so here's the thing.
That's a big thing for me.
This is in the myth part. Ready? So the ECHL continues to demand unreasonable travel between games. Now, that is the myth. The fact, player health and safety is important, and our several proposals are designed to improve travel requirements. This includes introducing stricter requirements for mandated days off every week, reducing the mile limits for travel between back-to-back games, and modifying in-season breaks. The issue, though, is the ECHL bylaws dictate that no teams can be within 100 miles of another club, which creates some scheduling challenges, because we have offered to address this in the new CBA. So per the NHL's league's standards, you cannot have a team within 100 miles of another team.
That's crazy.
Of course, you're going to cause travel issues. Because if you're not playing the closest team to you, you're by default traveling over 100 miles now to get to them.
Correct. Yeah. Well, and another big thing there is, like, why are teams not supplying travel for their players?
Right. Now, it should be a bus.
Even if it's a bus. If it's a bus.
I hate to say it, some of those coach buses, those are fucking nice buses. And
they're really
here's
nice.
The issue. Here's the other thing. A lot of these places are major cities. And a lot of, like, the railway. Why don't we use more of the rails? The trains.
Yeah, no, I agree, though, because it's like,
there's other modes of transportation.
You could, yeah. And if it's really far, just charter a fucking plane. Like, I don't see what the big deal is.
The local NBA affiliated team, I don't know the NBA structure or whatever, but for Maine, it is the Maine Celtics, right?
Yeah.
They fly economy class Southwest. I know this because in April, when I was coming back from Florida, they had a tournament down there. Half the team was on my fucking plane. Those poor bastards couldn't fit in the seats, but they were on the plane.
Yeah, because they're all 8 feet fucking tall.
Yeah, the people in the plane were pretty generous and gave them the aisle seats so they could stretch their legs.
Yeah, because, like, they're all like 6-7 feet tall.
Yeah, it was awesome though. But again, economy on a Southwest
plane. Works. It does. Yeah, it does the job.
Frontier, stay off Spirit, and you'll be all set.
Yes.
There has to be some standards, okay?
Yeah, we need to, like, get them there, but get them there safely without half the plane falling apart and flying in with a single engine.
Yeah, we're calling you out front here.
Yeah, Spirit, fix your shit. Get actually
Right?
better plans. But no, the pay increase is also important. I think these players should be paid a little better than they are. Um, I think what's funny is the AHL just went through kind of a similar thing to get their CBA quickly like adjusted and ready to go for the next one. But this has been ongoing since January. These two sides cannot agree, and again, it's a very similar issue to the MLB with at least AA baseball. That it's essentially like a fucking weekend hobby for these guys because they're not being paid accordingly. And I think that that's important. I'm not saying they need to be making $3 million to start, but I mean these guys need to be getting paid a little more than like what I would get paid to be a manager at CVS. Like,
I mean, but here's the thing, and we talk about this when we talk about the PWHL. Most of those players, they don't get paid more than $20 an hour salaries.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's hard to live on, especially in the cities that they're required to live in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I know what I make, and it's around there, and I can tell you it's very difficult. You have to be making a lot more money than that. So
again, we're not asking for $1 million contracts. We're just asking to be able to make a livable wage.
Correct. Now there have been reports, and I don't know if you've heard this, but there's been a couple players. One of them, his name escapes me, but I know he's in the Capitals organization. He said that through his knowledge, the players were not spoken to prior to the strike happening, that the PHPA decided this for them.
Interesting. Now, so here's the funny thing is, we don't know if that's true or not because the PHPA on their website doesn't have a lot of information about this. I mean, Chris, we both spent probably an hour looking through their website trying to find something more than just a statement.
Yeah.
And it was hard to come by. ECHL, this was easy to find. And it has updates for when they did the December 22nd update, the December 24th update, and the one that we're reading, which is the most recent one, is the December 26th update on their website.
There is something that I just found briefly. Here's all it says. Yeah, that's all it is. It's the statement. It just says the PHPA and the ECHL announced today that a tentative deal has been reached on a new CBA. The tentative agreement remains subject to ratification by the PHPA's ECHL membership and approval by the ECHL Board of Governors. The players will report to their teams in good faith and prepare to return to play pending ratification and approval. Further details will be shared at an appropriate time.
Again, not enough information other than a statement where the ECHL has this long list of numbers and facts. They're taking this a lot better than the PHPA. And I would be upset if I was a player because you want people to side with you when it comes to strikes and shit like this.
Yeah. Wow.
And if your information is not out there, it's hard for us to take your side.
A little interesting notes here in the PHPA's original documents that were released this week. Their request was a 33.4% increase in the salary cap. The ECHL's original offer was 4%. Obviously, they have settled on what is now essentially 20% increase. Also, mandatory days off every 7 days, 2 days off after 3 days or 3 games and 3 3 and 3s. All-star break and holiday breaks to be extended. Which
is fair.
I saw this through Twitter from Elliot Friedman had broke it, and if we know anything about reporters, anything Elliot Friedman says is gospel.
Right.
The man is on it. But it's like, when was the thing about? Wasn't the last time we had this sort of issue? like the last strike we had was 2012, I believe. 2012, 2013 was the last lockout.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen this in a long time. Do we think that this could have been solved better if both sides weren't so aggressively far apart?
I mean, it seems like there's a lot of miscommunication, obviously from the ECHL to the PHPA, but also internally in the PHPA when the players are saying like, hey, you guys aren't even talking to us and you're just making these decisions for us.
Right.
Now, granted, not every player should be talked to, but it is a union where the union should decide. So is this a union majority or leaders are making the decisions and not communicating it to the people in the union? I don't know. I've never really been part of a union, so I don't fully understand how the structure of them work.
I've never actually been in a union.
So take that with a grain of salt. But it only lasted 2 days, so I think that it was handled pretty good. I mean, the deal ended, back in June. So I think they should have made it a priority then. But, unfortunately, in the society that we live in, it is let's be reactive instead of proactive. Let's wait for shit to hit the fan before we decide to fix it.
Because no side wants to budge. And it's like, how is that beneficial if nobody wants to actually try to fix the problem? Now, we're about 30 games into the fucking season. So it's like,
here's the thing, is like those teams that had to cancel games, they now have to make that up, which means they lose break, they lose travel, and it doesn't just inconvenience the team, it inconveniences the venue, it inconveniences the fans that bought tickets.
Yeah.
Because if I had to work weekends and I took this weekend off to watch this game and the game got canceled, now I lost my PTO.
Yeah.
Or if I had family traveling in to see this, there's so much more that's just affected by this, and it affects the fans. And I think that it should be the greatest league in the history of sports, and I will forever stand on this, is the Savannah Bananas and Banana Ball, because they have a fan-first mentality, and they fucking live by that.
Oh, yeah. And the owner has said, I could have taken sponsorships, but why? If I bring in 1 million fans, the money comes. I don't need sponsorships.
Yep.
And they put out, I don't know if you've gotten to, I have not gotten to see that live yet, but that product is fucking phenomenal.
Well, and
it
the
is
fact
excellent.
That, like, every ticket to their game is $25 if you buy it through their website. They do everything they can to protect resellers and scalpers.
Yeah.
But again, back to the point. They are a fan-first sport. And they are growing and blowing the fuck up to the point that they are a baseball team that is selling more tickets than most Major League Baseball teams.
It went from a team to a league. There are 4 teams now.
They sold out Texas AMA Stadium.
Oh, they've sold out almost every MLB ballpark.
Right, and now they have gotten so big they have to go to football stadiums to play baseball.
No, they're still playing in MLB stadiums.
Well, but they are expanding to football stadiums because they want to get more fans in, and football stadiums have more seatings. Yeah, dude, they have a stadium tour.
They're selling out baseball field. They're selling out MLB stadiums like it's going out of style. But that's become a league now. There are 4 teams in that league, and it's a legitimate baseball, just played in a different way. And it's, again, fan first. And I think while I don't want to be one of those entitled assholes on the internet, because I'm not. I like the way that the NHL and the surrounding leagues do stuff, but it's like, we also need to be giving back to the people that kind of make all this possible. Because if no one's watching your sport, you're not getting shit. So it's like, I think this hurts the fans just as much as it hurts the players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's harsh, because you think about in the late 90s, early 2000s, like that whole area, when they had that lockout and that season got canceled, the NHL almost fucking died.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for Crosby and Ovechkin, and we talk about this, if it weren't for Crosby and Ovechkin saving the league, the NHL might be in a different place than it is right now. We might not be at 32 teams. We might be at less. We might be at less than 30. But it's like it's a weird thing, lockouts, right? Because you think about it's like how often do they happen? Well, they don't happen a lot, but it's like still when two sides are so dead set on getting what they want instead of being like, all right, hey,
what's the right thing to do?
Let's take a step back here. Let's talk about this. What we're going to talk about is, hey, maybe we're being a little too aggressive, right? Maybe this isn't working and we're both being a little too greedy. Let's try to meet in the middle. And while 33 would have been a nice number for those players, 20% is way better than the original offer.
But here's the thing, though, that 33% increase, how much of their pay goes to the union?
That's a good question.
Because here's the other thing, too, and I know this because I've done work with a union, but I wasn't part of the union, but part of my pay still went to pay the union, and I had no representation from the union.
Yeah.
So how much of those players, including the staff on the team, who may not even be part of the union, pay the union? So, of course, they're going to want more money because it helps them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That should be fine. I was trying to adjust my audio. Yeah, and I mean that's another big piece here is how much is the PHPA taking? How much of the pie is being cut out? Do we have that number?
I don't want to change subjects, but as of 43 minutes ago, Linus Ullmark will be taking a leave of absence from the Ottawa Senators for personal reasons the team just announced.
Oh.
That is live.
Linus, what's going on, brother?
Yeah.
Is there any news on it, or that was just reported?
That was just reported by Sportsnet, and I don't see any.
I'm seeing from The Athletic as of 15 minutes ago. All right. Linus, brother, I hope everything's all right, man. Hopefully everything is good, and take all the time you need, get that stuff sorted out. I don't know what it is, but
absolutely.
You have our support here from Pucked Up for sure.
Yep. And if Linus. We have any updates, we'll keep you guys in the loop.
Absolutely.
So, sorry to interrupt, but I saw that and I was like, oh, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, that's pretty live. That's live update here. Obviously this will be up on Monday, so this news will have already broken, but you will have gotten our live reactions to it as it happens.
Yeah.
Looking forward, do we think how do we think this is all going to be reimbursed to, or I don't want to say reimbursed, I guess, the rescheduling of games? How do we think these are going to end? Do we think that they extend the season a little bit for like a couple days? Do we think that these games will have to be slotted in? Do we think that the league themselves are going to be in charge of this?
I think that it needs to be addressed because, again, fan first mentality.
Make sure those games are made up.
My team had to cancel 2 games.
How many games total did they say it was?
It was 12 teams. I don't remember if they said.
Let
me see. Let me look at that up right now.
12 out of 30 teams is crazy.
13 games had to be postponed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's 13 games that need to be made up. Because I mean, you have to make those games up. Like you have to. You can't do. I don't know. You have to get the whole season in. So hopefully, it looks like we have some games scheduled here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I'm actually looking at all of them. It looks like we are due to return to action on Tuesday. The Jacksonville Icemen will face the Orlando Solar Bears at 7 p.m. And then on New Year's Eve, it looks to be a full slate of games.
Yeah.
Which is good. It seems everyone to be back to where they need to be, and we like that. Obviously, if you didn't know, you can catch all of the ECHL games live on Flow Hockey. As someone who is a subscriber to Flow Sports, I use Flow Racing. Flow does a great job with sporting coverage. I believe the AHL is also on Flow. But for the price that you pay, you get a lot of content. Obviously, I pay like 100 something a year for Flow Racing, and I get to watch hundreds of racetracks across the country,
which isn't bad at all.
It's amazing. I get to watch one of my local tracks, as well as some touring event, like touring series, some big name, like one of the premier dirt racing series is there too. NASCAR has stuff. So it's like Flow Sports does a great job. So if you're thinking about watching ECHL and AHL stuff and you don't know where to find it, check out Flow Hockey. Flow, sponsor us, because I'd like to save a little bit of money. Well, now that I think we've had a great conversation on that.
No, absolutely. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think. Were there things that you agree with? Were there things you guys disagreed with? Let us know.
Yeah, no, for sure. We definitely want to hear from you guys. Switching gears to the standings like normal. Do we want to go through, you take the Eastern Conference, I'll take the Western Conference?
Sure. Let's start with the Eastern Atlantic Division. Leading the way, we have the Detroit Red Wings. I'm not fucking it up this week.
It's tough.
Leading the league with 47 points, currently on a loss streak of 1. Followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning, 45 points. Tied with the Montreal Canadiens, also at 45 points. At the Metropolitan Division, we have the Carolina Hurricanes, which I'm glad to see, at 49 points lead in. Followed by the New York Islanders at 46 points, trailing the Philadelphia Flyers by 45 points. The wild card, we only have one team in number 1 place, which is the Washington Capitals. Congratulations to them with a huge bump. They have definitely turned their season around, and they are at 45 points. We have a 4-way tie for second place at 42 points. We have the Florida Panthers, Buffalo Sabres, New Jersey Devils, and New York Rangers. And a 2-way tie for third at 41 points, the Ottawa Senators and the Boston Bruins. And that rounds out your Eastern Division, or Eastern Conference.
I think it's very interesting to see that wildcard spot, because first off, this makes sense for Florida because it's about time that they're getting Matthew Tkachuk back. Obviously, they're going to be without Alex Barkov for the year. But to see them starting to get up there makes sense. The Buffalo Sabres are shocking.
Yeah, honestly.
That team
they're on an 8-game win streak.
Which is nuts.
They are, I think,
19, 14, and 4.
Yeah, they have the number 1 longest win streak currently. They're followed by the Colorado Avalanche, who are on a 7-game win streak, but 8 games in a row. It would be nice to be a Buffalo fan right now, and that's a really weird thing to say.
I mean, and you think about a couple weeks ago, they made that change in the GM spot. Maybe that was what they needed to do. But speaking of the Colorado Avalanche, they lead the Central Division and the NHL with 63 points. Right behind them is the Dallas Stars with 57 points, and then in third, the Minnesota Wild with 52. The entirety of the top 3 of the Central Division are the 3 best teams in the NHL right now. But we always say every year the Central is the toughest division.
Dude, all 3 of them could, especially the Avalanche, could take their foot off the gas and still be in the lead because of how solid that lead is.
That team they've only lost 2 games in regulation.
That's wild.
They've lost 7 in overtime. So imagine, you've lost 7 games in overtime, but you've managed to get 7 points out of those 7 losses.
Right.
So they're 9-0-1 in their last 10, which is crazy.
Their goal differential of plus 63, continuously goals. Chris and I have a bet that they're going to be the team to break 100 points this season, plus 100-point goal differential in the positive.
It would, yeah. Not only that, you and I were talking before. Team Canada, if you're still looking for your Olympic roster, well, I just want to point out that there are 2 goalies that are available that are having unbelievable fucking years So,
And then you have Bennington on the St. Louis Blues, who are at a goal differential of -35.
yeah, let's see. Scott Wedgwood. Well, he's from Brampton, Ontario. Mackenzie Blackwood, he's from Thunder Bay, Ontario. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you make a fucking phone call to the Colorado Avalanche and be like, hey, can we have your 2 goalies for the winter?
And as
Just
much as
saying.
Bennington was good in the Four Nations, leave him on the bench.
Get the fuck out of here, Jordan Bennington. Moving to the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights lead with 45 points. Right behind, in a 2-way tie for second, would be the Anaheim Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers with 44 points. In the wild card ranking, the Los Angeles Kings are leading in the wild card spot with 41 points, with the San Jose Sharks with 39, tied with the Utah Mammoth. Now, if we go to the worst teams of the bunch, the Western Conference holds that. The Winnipeg Jets and Chicago Blackhawks have 34 points, while the bottom of the barrel, worst team in the league, Vancouver Canucks with 33 points.
Hey, let's give them a shout out. They broke the 30 point. They broke 30 points finally. You didn't think it was going to happen, but it did.
So I think the biggest shock here, in my opinion, the biggest shock here is the Buffalo Sabres. I don't know what the hell happened, but holy shit, they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Again, you look at that Central Division and those top 3. If you go to the league, 1, 2, and 3 are the Avs, the Stars, and the Wild. And I'm telling you what, brother, did I not say it a couple weeks ago when we had this? But Quinn Hughes was going to change that team, and he has.
He did. Mm-hmm.
Look at how he's played. Obviously, they're 8-1-1 in their last 10. They're doing phenomenal right now.
Absolutely.
Gustafson's turning it around a little bit. Wallstedt is continuing to be just that, a wall. And this is best case scenario if you're a Wild fan. Obviously,
I do want to give a shout out to the Anaheim Ducks for being the only team that is 4-0. They are the number 1 team in shutouts. They do not lose them. On the other end of that, special shout out to the Washington Capitals for not being able to win a shootout, being the only
we
team
beat
that's
them in a shootout.
Yeah,
Anaheim is 7-2, I believe, in overtime this or past regulation this year.
Yeah.
So
and statistically, it looks like the only way to beat the Avalanche is to bring them to a shootout because they're 1-4.
They're 1-4, which is nuts. But they managed to get those 7 points.
True.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of who in your opinion is the most surprising this so far this season, because there's a lot of teams. The league makes no sense this year. I mean, teams that are good are in the basement, and teams that are bad are
also
doing good.
Now that the freeze is up, what do you think is going to happen for trades, and how big do you think those are going to be to change the projection of your team?
Absolutely. Now, let's switch gears to the best way to round out this segment and this show. I'm going to turn this over to you, Mal.
Now it is time for the Swiss cheese of the week.
You love that animation.
I'm really hoping that you can animate it to like my hands, like the time in, because I think that'd be kind of cool.
It is pre-animated. I would have to go in and make a whole new asset, but you love that animation. It's pretty great.
Hell yeah, it is. This week we are giving it to the one, the only Thatcher Demko, who plays for the Vancouver Canucks. Mr. Demko played 2 games this last week, giving up a total of 9 goals and 2 losses. This gentleman only played for 118 minutes. We did want to give a special shout out to Carter Hart, who gave up 11 goals, but his saving grace was he had 1 win, 1 loss, but he played for 182 minutes. So we decided to give him a break this week, throw it over to Demko.
Which, to be honest, knowing Carter Hart and all the talk he's had around the podcast, I don't want to give him any breaks. But 11 goals in 3 games is rough. But dude, Thatcher has had it rough. A save percentage of .880, dog.
Yeah,
Batch,
he's
we love you, buddy, but oh my god.
Yeah, and he only took 74 shots in the 118 minutes that he played, almost 119 minutes.
He gave up 9 and 74. That's
yeah.
I mean, again, I just said how bad the Vancouver Canucks have been, and I mean, look, Lucas Dostal was literally one goal away from being right up there with Thatcher this week, because Anaheim has lost a lot of games this month. So
and he had only 4 seconds more playtime than he did, but
yeah,
it's all about those goals. That's who gets the Swiss cheese.
Yeah, you get to don the obvious not Swiss cheese hat, but that's brutal, brother. That's brutal.
I mean, yeah, dude, he gave up. I mean, I just want to point out he gave up 6 goals against San Jose.
Yikes! How many of those were Macklin Celebrini? That's the question.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, probably all of them.
Probably.
Anyway,
yikes.
Mr. Demko, congratulations for joining the elite of the stinkiest Swiss cheese of the week.
Absolutely. Well, I think on that note, that is all we have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you comment. It really helps. All of that helps us a lot to get out farther. So if you want to see more of us, make sure you're hitting that and you're engaging with us. If you don't have the notification bell turned on, turn it on. It lets you know anytime we upload anything new. Let us know in the comments if you've watched this far. Tell us who should be the starting goalie for Team Canada in the Olympics.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's like,
it should not be Jordan Binnington. It should not be Jordan Binnington at fucking all. On that note, we will see all of you people Wednesday. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care.